Hello everybody. In this video, we are going to see about inheritance concept with a simple demo program in single inheritance. First, we'll see what do you mean by inheritance. It's nothing but the important concept in object-oriented programming concept. It helps to promote the code reusability, and it allows the dynamic polymorphism also. Okay, so during the runtime, it enables the dynamic behavior of the same two different methods. That is called the method overriding concept that we will see in the coming slides. So as you know, what do you mean by object? It's nothing but it is the bundle of data members and the methods. Okay. So the inheritance means there will be a superclass and subclass concept. Okay. So if you see, this is called the parent and this is called the child. Okay. So the superclass is a relationship. If a superclass is the animal means subclass is it's a dog. Okay. So it's helps in code reusability. How it helps means what are all the methods and fields available under superclass can be inherited by this subclass. And apart from inheriting the methods and data available under the superclass, the subclass can have its own methods and data. Okay. So it acts as the superclass can act as a common interface. Multiple objects can be derived. Multiple subclass can be derived from the superclass. Okay. So this is the structure class, superclass. You are mentioning the fields and methods. And here the class, subclass. Extends is the keyword you must use, and then you have to give the parent class name. If you are giving like this means what does it mean? Means this subclass is the child class of this superclass. So it can inherit what all the fields and methods are available under superclass, provided it must not be a restricted methods like private methods or final like that. Okay. So these are all the different types of inheritance. So single inheritance is the one. So there will be one parent class and one subclass. The subclass which inherits the property and methods from A. A is the parent and B is the subclass. Okay, and then this is multi-level inheritance. B extends A and C extends B. That is, C's direct parent is B. Okay, and B's direct parent is A. Okay, this is the multi-level. Level by level you can extend. And this is multiple inheritance. That is, in Java, it is not allowed. Actually, class C extends A comma B, you cannot give in Java, but you can give in C++. But this multiple inheritance, it is not allowed, but you can do this. You can implement the multiple inheritance using the concept called interface. Later, I will discuss about this. So next inheritance is hierarchical inheritance. There will be one parent. From one parent, B different subclasses you can derive. So B, C and D and all subclasses which is derived from A. These are all the different types of inheritance. And what do you mean by hybrid inheritance means? It's a combination of single and multi-level or multi-level and hierarchical like that. Okay. For multiple inheritance, definitely you should implement through interface in Java. So next is navigating the hierarchy. So here for inheritance concept, you must know about the usage of super keyword. What is the use of super keyword means? In Java, it is allowed both parent and child class can have the same field name and same method signatures. Through the super keyword, you can resolve that. Okay, if you are mentioning super dot, that method name means you are mentioning the parent class method. Okay, and super dot field name means you are referring to parents field name. Okay, through the super keyword, provided if the method name and field name exist the same for both the parent and child. Okay. Next is how you can, this is the code. Class car extends vehicle. Vehicle here is the base class and car is the subclass. And what is this? This car, this is nothing but constructor. Okay. The constructor is the one which does not have any return type. So with and having the same name as the class name. So here I am calling super, which means what? It calls the constructor used in this vehicle. So it calls a super means, so this is the subclass constructor. Inside that, if you are providing super means it calls the vehicle constructor. Okay. And then after executing that, it returns over here and this system out.println statement got executed. Next, it has a method called show details. And here I am giving super dot display info. That means what? This display info will be available under the vehicle parent class. So you are calling the parent class display info method. Okay. So this is how you can use the super keyword. So a subclass means it's nothing but it can have its own fields and methods apart from inheriting the methods and fields available under the superclass. So this is the method name and what is the rule of overriding? Overriding is the one that is same field name, same method name available for both superclass and subclass. Okay. So method name and parameter list must be identical to the superclass. Okay. And another rule is if it is having any return type means that also must be the same. So access level also, if that is public means this is also should be public. If it is protected means this is also protected. And you have to keep it in mind, static, final and private methods cannot be overridden. Okay. So what do you mean by polymorphism? It's nothing but it can have many forms. So that means you can polymorphism of two types, static binding and dynamic binding. In the previous video, I have explained about method overloading. What do you mean by method overloading? Same method name exists in the same class. Okay, but it can have different parameters. During the compile time, you can resolve this. This is called the static binding. But method overriding is the one, it should have the same name, also parameters, also the return type. Everything same. Okay. And this is called late binding because it can be resolved only during the execution time, that is the run time. So this is called dynamic binding. Method overriding has been resolved using dynamic binding. And this method overloading mechanism is a static binding. So the late binding mechanism, another thing you have to keep it in mind. So this is vehicle C. This C is the object of the base class. But if you are giving vehicle C equal to new car means the C will be pointing to the subclass object. Okay. So only during the runtime, which object type, which object reference type it is holding, then that object will be pointing to the object. So here the C points to the subclass. Okay. So that is actually here explained in overriding. Method to be executed will be determined at runtime and it actually binds the actual object's reference type. Okay. During runtime. So the inheritance means it relies on runtime polymorphism, and it is achieved through the method overriding concept. So what is the difference between method overloading and overriding means, as I said earlier, this method overloading is compile time polymorphism, and method overriding is the runtime polymorphism. And it occurs entirely within the same class, this method overloading. But in method overriding, this is superclass and subclass hierarchy. Same method with the same method signature exist in both the superclass and subclass. And here in method overloading, the parameter list must be entirely different. To differentiate which method to call, you can watch my previous video on method overloading concept. And here in method overloading, this parameter list must be exactly the same, and also the return type. And this method overloading, as I said, it is resolved during the compile time, and this method overriding will be resolved by the JVM during the runtime. Okay. So this is the difference between during the compilation phase. It is called early binding or late binding. Okay. So now we'll see a simple example for the single inheritance, just to understand the concept of inheritance. Okay. So if you see here, as you know, this why I'm using this import java util.scanner means I am getting input from the user, okay, in this program. So I am importing this scanner built-in class. And if you see here, this class vehicle base, here I am using it as a base class, that is the super class, which means what? The parent. And it has two fields, string vehicle number and brand. Vehicle number means what is the number for that vehicle, and brand means just Toyota or Honda, like that. Okay. So here I have, apart from two fields, so I have one method also I have declared here. Get vehicle details is the method, just to get the values for these two fields through the scanner object SC. Okay. Kindly watch my previous video to know more about the scanner class. So here I created the object for the built-in scanner class SC. System.in means through keyboard I'm getting the input. Okay. So enter vehicle number I am giving. So SC dot next line. What is this next line? It gets as the string. Okay. So method available under scanner class to get string input from the user. Next is brand is equal to sc dot next line. So brand also is a string. So I am giving next line. Okay, that's all. I am closing this base class. So this base class have two fields and one method. I am closing this class over here. Okay, and I am defining the subclass whose name is car subclass, and I'm giving extends keyword, which means what? After the extends keyword, you must provide the base class name. That is the super class name is here vehicle base. So what do you mean by that? If you give like this means this car subclass can inherit these two fields. Okay. So here these are not private, static or final. So it will be visible to the subclass also. And you can use this, it inherit this method also. Okay. And apart from those two fields, it can define its own field. Here it has two fields, string fuel type and double mileage. Fuel type means it can be petrol, diesel or electric. Mileage means you can give in numbers, kilometer per liter. Okay. So here another method I have, get car details. So using the scanner class, I'm creating the object for this, and I'm getting the fuel type. This is also string. So I'm getting the string input using the next line method, and then next double for getting the mileage. Okay. So because it is of type double. Okay. So next in the display, if you say it has two fields, this subclass has two fields, two methods. One is called getting the fields of the subclass through the method called get card details. Another one is display details to display all the fields available under this subclass. Here, if you see this vehicle number and brand, it is visible to this subclass, so you can print that. And apart from this, it has its own field that also you can display through this subclass method display details. Okay. Now I have closed this. If you see, I have one superclass and I have the defined the subclass also. Now I am creating the class vehicle demo. Under that public static void main is available, as you know, here where the actual program execution starts. If you see here in the same Java file, I have three classes. One is vehicle base, another one is car subclass, and another one is vehicle demo. If you are giving the same different class under the same Java program, means where the public static void main is there, that class you have to declare it as public. Okay, it is a must. So here this vehicle demo consists of this public static void main. So I have defined this class as public. Okay, under this public static void main, I have created the object for this subclass called core subclass. Why I am creating this? Because through this you can access both the um, parents fields and methods, because it inherits its properties by extending the parent class. Okay. So kindly watch my previous video for the classes and objects, how to create object from a class. Okay. So here this is the syntax for creating the object for a class. So car is the object. Okay. So through car, I am invoking the methods called get vehicle details and car details. If you see here, this get vehicle details is available under the superclass. Yes, this is available under superclass, but we are invoking through the subclass object. It is permitted because it can access superclass methods also. And this card detail, get card details, is its own method, which is available under this subclass. Okay. So, and then at last, I am another class, you know, I have two methods under the subclass, get card details and display details. In the display details, I will be printing all the fields, both the uh, parent fields and the child fields. Okay. And that's all. And if you see the output, I am getting the input. Okay, I will run this program. Enter vehicle number. I'm giving vehicle number. It's a string. Okay. Next brand, let I give it as Honda. Then fuel type is petrol. It is also string. Mileage, let it be 20. And if you see, it display through the display details, you are displaying all the things what I have given. Okay. That's all about inheritance concept. The basic thing is child can inherit the properties of the parent class, provided it is not a restricted one. That is, the private method, static and final methods cannot be overridden or cannot be used. Okay. Thanks for watching.